I'm Julie Tam, managing broker of LYN Realty in Houston, Texas, and thank you for joining me for my weekly Wednesday show on YouTube and Facebook, Smarter Real Estate. I'm riding in the car today with my husband, Saqib Siddiq, who is also a licensed realtor and a photographer and director of operations for our company. And I'm here to make you a smarter buyer, seller, tenant, or landlord, arming you with practical strategies and also taking you on some of my real estate adventures. We just came from a listing appointment with a seller, and today I want to talk about things that realtors are not. Okay, a lot of people have different perceptions of what real estate agents and brokers can do, and we can do a lot related to real estate, you know, helping people buy and sell and lease and also manage properties in our case. But there are some things we cannot do, and some professions that we cannot somehow adopt their tasks and things that they do and then do them for you. Okay, so let me tell you what those professions are, and then I'm going to go through each one. One would be accountant or CPA. Another is an attorney, a lawyer. Another one is a lender, like a mortgage broker or mortgage banker. Another one is an insurance agent. And then finally, a remodeling / repair contractor. Okay, so let me explain. So because we deal with people's homes, there's a lot of things that go along with selling a home and buying a home, etc. And so consumers tend to have questions surrounding them. And so they sometimes expect for us to be the all-around expert, and that's just not possible. We cannot be all of those 5 jobs in addition to our own job. But we do have some basic knowledge, and I say we as a generality, some realtors may not, but I have enough basic knowledge about each of those areas that I can advise on a very basic level in terms of what I'm allowed to advise on based on what my state law and the ethics and all the rules that I'm supposed to follow allow me to talk about. So the first one I mentioned was CPA or accountant. So a lot of people have advice about, you know, what taxes they're going to be expected to pay when they sell a home, or, you know, 1031 exchange and different things like that. And what I can just tell you is kind of basic general knowledge, you know, that you might be able to find just by a quick Google search. But if you want to really know what your tax burden is or a tax advantage for doing this versus that, you really do need to seek the advice of someone who is in that profession. Just like you wouldn't go to your CPA to ask for real estate advice, or I hope you wouldn't, then don't come and ask a realtor about CPA accounting advice. And then attorney, same thing. We are not licensed to practice law, so we cannot draft legal documents for you. In fact, in real estate contracts, there are blanks for us to fill in, and there are just, you know, types of information that we are allowed to put in there. There is a section called special provisions in a contract, and even in there, whether it's in a lease or a sales contract, we can only fill in factual details, okay? So certain things that will convey with the sale or just certain other details related to the transaction, but that are not creating a whole other legal aspect, you know, that's complex, or saying that, well, if X, Y, and Z happen, then A, B, and C happen, and then if this person does this, then this other person has to do that. If it starts getting that convoluted, then that's entering the arena of practicing law, and that's not something that we are actually allowed to do. We had a landlord client once ask us to review a legal document to give advice about whether it was good. It was involving a lawsuit between her and somebody else, and didn't have to do with real estate specifically. It had to do with a property, but that's not something that we can do. We cannot give legal advice, and so we will get in trouble. We will lose our license, and you're not going to get good legal advice even if you do get advice from a realtor, because we're not an attorney. Now, if there is a realtor who's an attorney, then obviously they can act as an attorney, or any of these other roles, you know, that I'm saying. If you are both of those roles, then of course you can play those roles. But if you're just a realtor, then that's all that you are. That's all that I am. Okay, the other one that I mentioned was a lender. So I have basic mortgage information, and I can give you in terms of the differences between an FHA loan and a conventional loan. And I've done videos about this, what you need to get pre-approved, what the difference is between a pre-approval versus a pre-qualification letter. And, you know, down payment and appraisals and how that affects how much money you have to bring to closing. Those are all concepts that we are taught in real estate school, and that we are coming out armed with that knowledge to advise you about. But I can't tell you what you can qualify for your loan, for example, or decipher anything more complex for you in terms of whether it's better to pay more points up front for a lower interest rate or not. I mean, I can tell you what considerations that you need to have when you're making that decision, but I should not be the person who is giving you that mortgage advice, because I am not a lender. The other one I mentioned was insurance agent. Same thing. I cannot give you an insurance quote because it's just not possible. I don't work for an insurance agency. I don't have access to that data. I can tell you, for example, that, well, I have another house in that neighborhood that I manage, and the insurance cost for that one is roughly this much, but the square footage could be different. The materials in each home and also on the exterior of each home are different, and there's other issues, the age of the roof, the age of the AC system. There's all these other factors that insurance agents take into account when they are giving you a quote, and so you need to get that quote from the insurance agent. Same thing with flood insurance, liability for landlords, umbrella policies, any of those types of things. The final one was the remodeling and repair contractor. So I have a lot of experience with dispatching contractors for repairs and conducting remodeling, whether it's for someone who wants to update their home, or if there has been a flood, for example, after Hurricane Harvey. We've had to deal with that, and more recently the winter storm in the Houston area, where of course there's extensive damage and there needs to be remodeling and a lot of replacements being done. And so I have a general idea of kind of the magnitude of costs. So I can tell you, if something's going to cost in the hundreds versus a couple thousand versus 10,000 or more. And so to give you those ideas, but again, I'm not a contractor. I'm not the one who's doing the work. Looking at something on the surface may be a lot different if the contractor starts ripping things out and things are revealed behind those surfaces that they may not have even known at the outset, right? And so those prices could change and vary, quite drastically in some cases. And so when I give you kind of a general idea, that's to give you a ballpark, so you have an idea of what you are looking at spending when you're considering buying a home, for example, how much money you're going to be putting into it. But definitely, I'm not the person who's doing the repair work, and so I am not going to have an accurate and perfect price for you. And besides, you can get quotes from different contractors and really get vastly different prices anyway, just because different people charge different prices for different things. I'm back. I just got cut off. Thank you very much, Apple iPhone. Anyway, yes, I had an alarm clock set and suddenly it came on and of course just stopped the video. I don't think they should design phones that way. I mean, whatever I'm in the middle of doing, let me finish doing it. Don't interrupt me. There you go. Anyway, luckily that was pretty much the end of what I was going to say, so I'm just wrapping it up. Please subscribe and like, and I hope you'll continue to watch Smarter Real Estate on Facebook and YouTube. And if you have any questions or feedback, feel free to message or comment for me, and I hope to see you again very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.